All right, let's go ahead and call to order the Parks and Recreation Committee meeting for Monday, April 18th, 2022. We go ahead and take the roll, please.
Jen, can you hear us okay?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. I'm here.
Do that, so we're good. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Sarah Borkart?
Here.
Jed Henry?
Here.
Jennifer Bonte?
Here.
And Trustee Hartman.
Here. All right, thank you much. We're going to go ahead and move into the public comment opportunity. It's an opportunity for anyone to address the committee on any issue, either on or not on the agenda. Please observe time limit of 3 minutes while getting encouraged input from residents. They may not discuss or act on any issue that is not duly noted on the agenda. Is there anybody in Miami who would like to speak during the public comment section tonight?
I don't believe so. Heidi is actually on here for the swim team.
All right, we'll move into reports. The first is from committee chair, and all it says no May is coming up. And I've seen a couple signs out on Main Street in my neighborhood, so I'm looking forward to seeing how many residents participate in the village. The sign was awesome as well, so really excited for that still, and just looking forward to summer across plains and all the events to come here in the spring and the early summer, especially the opening of the trout fishing. So.
Yeah, we actually just received a phone call from someone from Virginia that had saw our normal May signs and asking if they could steal the for it. So we sent that to Steve to see, what he thinks.
Other than that, I think this will be my last Parks and Recreation Committee meeting. I have been reassigned to sustainability and library, so I'll start with that role in May. And so just like to thank everybody on the committee for the time of the village and Mike for being a super amazing Parks and Recreation in general, and also interim village administrator again. So it was great to get to know you guys a little bit during the process. And obviously, anything I can do to support Parks and Rec, I just feel 100% on board with providing services for our families and our residents. So thanks for everything you guys have done. That's all I got. Any committee members with any reports this evening? No. That means Mr. Mike Jackson. That's you.
So none for them, no? All right, just for me, just a few things here. Obviously tonight we'll go over the RFPs that we received. That's been a big part of this month. The 2022 activity guide came out. Hopefully you all received that in your mailbox. I had a nice little coloring page on the front for this year. We've received some of those back from people now. So we definitely have to make it a contest still at some point here, which we'll do. We had a great registration for residents come April 1st, and we didn't really get a whole lot of complaints from non-residents other than the fact that most non-residents feel that they are residents because it says Cross Plains for their address. And then so we just have to ask them like, well, where do you pay your tax bill? And go through that whole thing. And they'd say, oh, we didn't realize that we weren't residents of your community. So but we didn't really hear any negative feedback in regards to that, other than the fact that everything was full by the 4th. Mainly after school, or our full day camp was completely full within 4 hours for kids. So 25 kids, what we took for the year. We've actually went up to like 28 in a couple instances already. We want to increase it to be more, but we're struggling on staff for the summer and space. So, if we were to go back to the fire station or have 2 sites, now we also have to double the staff. So that's an issue. And then we've lost a lot of our older staff returning this year. So we'll have a lot of new ones. So it's kind of trying to keep it manageable for the summer. But for the most part, that's our only major area of that's full. Dance, we had a jazz that filled up. That's about it for dance. And then swim lessons were another one that filled up pretty quick. But yeah, so the spring soccer did. Yeah, the spring soccer filled up, and that's done outside. So we have Sam Kepi, he's actually from town here, lives I think right down from you, right behind you. He's done this for us in the past, and he just is coming in as an independent contractor to run his Little Kickers soccer program. So yes, it is full. It filled up quick, but we'll try to do some more of those so that we can have more opportunities for people. We did get a few burns in. I know, Jed, you just sent me an email about burning behind your house there. That'd be a little bit too large for Dane and I to take on, but we were able to get out last Monday and do some burns. We did the library area, so their prairie area. We did the Laufenberg Boulevard area, and then we went up and did where the Christmas tree is on Hickory Hill. So we still have two that we'd really like to get to this year, but as you know, the burn season it's usually hard already in spring. This year is even more crazy because of all the rain that we've received. It was interesting because even the day that we burned, the DNR came out saying like you can't burn anymore because it's too dry, and we had all this rain prior to that, so it just dried up really quick at that time. So it's coming on twice. Well, a couple more properties we'd like to do, Westview being one, Glacial Valley Conservancy being the other. Those we need a couple more staff to do it with. And then Jed brought up doing the Beekner site as well, which we would love to do, but we definitely need
We just
more
have a
staff at
lot
that
of
point.
fire
Yeah.
load in there.
Yeah, oh, it would
The
burn
trees
quick.
that would go up.
It would burn really quick.
If you need help, I was in the fire department for a long time.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
20 burns,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm happy to help out.
Yeah, if we can't get the fire department to do it, we may do that. If we can get more people, like Dane's been done through fire school. Myself, I have as well, but no one else on our crew really has. So we usually like to have some, at least for the four corners, kind of taken care of with people that have done it, or do it more often. So, but if the season allows it, maybe we'll get to it this year. Otherwise, we'll try and do it this fall. Try and get something with the fire department going. We had the Easter egg hunt on Saturday. I don't know if any of you were able to be a part of that, but nice. That's good. Yeah, I was here, but I didn't go to the actual park. But yeah, but had a great turnout, it looked like, for the most part. So we kind of got everything cleaned up in the park for that last week, and then also got the bathrooms ready to go. So we summarized them, at least the south one. So on the Big Diamond, those are ready to go. We're trying to get to Mary's Place yet this week to open those up for baseball. So we've been receiving a ton of requests from CP Baseball as well for practice times and getting equipment and all those sorts of things.
What did they do with the bridge right there in the park? Did they shore that up? I noticed it was the concrete kind of footing that was next to it. Is that
So we're in. Yeah, everything is in and it's open for use right now. We are going to continue that. So we're gonna take out all the blacktop on the other side, so on the north side of the bridge, and make a nice path that kind of leads up and into the current path that's up there. We may end up having to do railings of some sort or a retaining wall because of how steep that bank is up along there. But the plan is to try and finish that up still this summer. But it is open and ready for everyone to use currently. So yeah, good. And that's all I have for you. See any questions?
Any questions up there, Dan? Okay. Thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and move into committee item 1, which is the discussion of possible action to approve the meeting minutes of March 21st. I go ahead and make a motion to approve those meeting minutes. Make a second from somebody, please. Second. All right, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
The same. Okay, those stand approved. And we'll move into item number 2, which is the discussion of possible action regarding the request proposal for the playground at Bear Park. I'll turn it over to Mike.
All right, so in your packets, so obviously up here, I'll try and share this, Jen, so you can.
Yeah.
You can see it, or
I got my packet. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Perfect. Is more or less my memo in regards to what we're trying to do over there. Now, there's a couple of things that have come up throughout this process, which I'll go over here at the end. But we did receive 4 really great proposals, I feel like, from a number of vendors, 4 different vendors. Lee Recreation, which is in with Burke, Gerber Leisure Products, Landscape Structures, which is out of Mount Horeb, Boland Recreation, which are the Miracle representatives. They did the ones that we have over at Glacial Valley Park, and then Minnesota Wisconsin Playground, which is out of Minnesota. They all did submit their proposals in a timely manner, gave us all the information that we were looking for, so none of them would be taken off the list in that for that regard. And they all did come in within budget, which is the biggest, which is the most important. Obviously, around the room here, you can see the boards. Sorry, Jen, you can't see those, but you can see the boards of the different playgrounds and options that were a part of all of this. And what I'm looking for from you tonight is to move forward with one of these companies to make a recommendation to the village board for approval at the next Monday's meeting, so we can get things kind of lined up and get more of a timeline on when the companies can move forward to install this. And then there are some things that we have to do still on our end, obviously within the property. So we're going to spray the grass and try and kill off all the weeds and grass around the area that this will be going into, take all the sod off the top, and then we'll be adding wood chips, obviously, once everything is installed and in place. So do you want to go over each proposal, or do you want to kind of narrow it down? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, maybe we can just, my thought is just to talk through the different structures. I mean, it looks like in price, the quotes are roughly within $2,000 of each other. So I think it's more about our discussion about which of the proposals as far as equipment do we like the best. Because there's not gonna, I mean, I don't foresee it like cost being a major issue.
Yeah.
So just go over sort of what the equipment that comes with the three proposals are, and we can have a little discussion about which one we like.
Yeah. So we can start here. Let's start with the Lee Recreation or the Burke stuff, or Burke equipment. We currently don't have any playgrounds that are Burke related. So that's one, I think, positive in that regard. Kind of get a different vendor in here with different suits of what they can offer. I think they meet all the needs of which we requested. So we requested that there be at least 3 swings within it. We have climbing structures throughout. We have a slide, which on this one looks like it's pretty small. It'd be more or less for the 2 to 5, probably age group for that. But overall, I mean, it meets, I think, all the needs of which we requested. I know Sarah, before we started, had been talking about the little bunny and maybe not having a springer in there, which we could take out and add something else. We would just have to know what you'd want to add with any of these. So as we go through this discussion, if there are any of them that you'd like to see something different, we could do that. But understand that they gave us this within their price range, and it was something that we requested. Was the springer was one thing that everyone kind of added to this list. So that would be Burke and or Lee Recreation doing the install. Their install crew is all in-house, which is nice. They don't contract that out. So when the equipment gets here, gets delivered, they're on site already to install. We don't have Burke. We have had Lee Recreation for one of our playgrounds, and that's the one that's at Cedar Glen Park, which is off of Ludden Drive. And they helped us with the install as well there and did a great job. The next options would be Gerber Leisure Products. They are out of Mount Horeb, Landscape Structures. We have about 10 playgrounds that are all Gerber Leisure Products. So you'll see a lot of the same designs. I mean, they all evolve and change over the years, but I think 9 of our playgrounds are currently all Landscape Structures. I think they did a good job offering, the different offerings that are within. I think everyone did a pretty good job within their offerings, but I like their option 2, because it has a few elements that are a little bit different than what we're really used to, whether it be a fireman's pole, like a different step kind of going on with a fireman's pole, or even a nice sliding structure to walk across. But as we were talking, there's a lot of kids that may be tall enough to be able to do that part of it. But they do have a larger slide on this one, the Sidewinder 2, which is actually what we have in most of our other parks as well. Behind you is the Minnesota-Wisconsin playground. They did 2 options as well. We do not have any Minnesota-Wisconsin playgrounds in here. I think that, once again, I think that their option 2 is right in line with exactly what we were looking for. And be happy with something. I think if you look at their option 2 and you look at Burke's, I feel like they're very similar in space and needs. And then the last one is the Miracle or Boland Recreation over behind there. They went with a kind of a different design. Not against it, but I feel like for the age groups that we were looking for, I'm not really sure it meets our needs. And the pictures are kind of hard to see as well. So I guess I don't know how you want to do this, Andy. If you want to go around the room and ask each or each member, what they'd like or what they'd like to see.
Yeah, maybe let's just start with any clarifying questions on any of the options first, and then
Sure.
sort of bring our rounds on comments and.
Yep, sounds good. Any questions?
I just have a quick one. I think the lead has 2 slides. They do like that reverse shot down there. I don't know how that one compares to the Sideliner.
Oh, so you've got one here.
Yeah, so they're both just kind of smaller.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah, so they're here and here. You can. This one's a little bit larger though than this one.
Okay.
But yeah, there are 2 slides.
Okay. Okay.
And it has a tunnel, it looks like, that goes obviously between them. That's a lot like the design at Cedar Glen is like that as well.
If we had these circumstances that starting off with like what do we not like right away, is a good place to just eliminate some discussion options, and then we can sort of focus in on the 2 or 3 that are listed in that.
Sure.
I mean, if it was me, I like that one, and I like option 2 over there. Those would be my top 2.
Yeah, so I talked to my kids about this.
Perfect.
And they were really drawn to that one. I thought this one was pretty great with the cars at first. They're like, no, because they like the idea that you can like climb all around on that one. So they thought, I mean, I don't know how great this is, but like they like that they can climb on top of that one.
Oh, yeah.
And so they thought that would be really fun.
Here?
No, well, there,
Where the
and
kids like swinging.
where the kids swing.
Oh yeah, up here.
Yeah, so they thought that was really fun that you actually are going
Which
for it,
one?
whereas they saw this and they're like, well, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So, and they really like how everything is connected on that one, because these ones, whenever I showed them the ones where it's like all the different equipment, they're like,
Sure.
So I think it was, everything's attached, and the fact that you can like climb up on it. But
Yeah, I did the same, and they came up with they like the idea of like having an obstacle course. It can be timed, you can go around it, you stay on the same equipment, but you go up and through, and you come down this and have to come around it or come down. So
right.
I like that as well. Yeah.
Is that this one?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at. And I think my preference goes to the lead because it's something a little bit more unique than some other stuff that we have around.
They also thought that spinning thing was really fun.
Yeah.
That's Jen's thoughts.
What do you think, Jen?
Yeah, which ones are you guys looking at too?
Oh
Can you
yeah, so this would be the here. I can share the screen.
yeah.
Larger.
How comfortable is the bench, Mike?
Right. That was the other thing. Yeah, right. I did like the bench a lot.
I mean, that one to me is very similar to the Middleton Fireman one. My kid loves it. Like all these same features are almost the same as that one. My kid loves that part.
Yeah, I felt like that one seems to fit many different age groups, because even though it's a little slide, the big kids are just going to use that as an escape route.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This was exhibit B, right?
Correct. It might be C. Let me see here. Yeah. It is B. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That's this one. It must be C. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and they didn't get us I think what you're looking for, They sent these.
Mhm.
These here. I don't know why it keeps doing that. So this is the other one that you were looking at. This is the other one they're looking at, Jen.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, those were the two that caught my attention, but I think Sarah's feedback is really good. Like, what do the kids like?
Yeah,
Part of me is wondering, are those two mock-ups to scale of the space? Just seems like this option is so sparse, but actually the equipment scale to park scale.
well, the one that the Burke or that Lee Rec did is 35 by 75 would be within the fall zone. They're all roughly that same space, that same size, same like kind of behind you. Fall zones are like based on swing height, the height of the highest part of the structure. So that's how far back you have to be. So that's kind of what determines how far the borders have to be, how much wood chips will be, obviously in there within surface area. The one thing about Berg, about their proposal, is that the wood chips are not included in their price. I believe they were an added. It says delivered only, but when I added up all the money, I don't believe that fit. So I'll make sure.
We're gonna supply those anyway?
I mean, I would just take it out. We're putting them in, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, yep. But that's always from an outside source.
Is that a liability standpoint?
No, that's just the manufacturing.
We bought a wood chipper a few years ago, so we could do this.
Not wood chipper. We bought a slinger to put them in.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, so that does not include the chips, which I will bring up to them because the price is $36,997, but they have delivered only in, it does say optional though, I don't know why. But just so we know but I would find a way to do that within our company budget. We'll have to get chips this year anyways, so.
And I mean, I guess if we didn't like the rocker, could we pull that rocker out and then that covers half the cost of the chips?
It could, or we ask them to add something else. If they could add another swing, or they could add something to it, and we can still cover it. I'll do
I don't
that.
feel strongly about a rocker.
I don't think.
I mean, I think it's great to leave it. Everything's expensive.
Yeah, because we actually have 37,496 to use. And 36, so we have another $500 or so. Granted, that's not all the wood chips, but just stating like.
Well, it sounds like everybody's kind of the same. I'll make the motion and that we go with Lee Recreation. We can still have discussion. If there's a second.
I'll second.
So the motion is to make a recommendation to the board to go with Lee Recreation.
Yes, their proposal.
All right.
And obviously we have some notation of we have to figure out the wood chips thing. No,
Which I'm not worried about.
no,
I'm not worried about it. We'll get them in.
Okay.
I don't see that being a huge issue. Like I said, we're gonna have to I'll be getting a lot more wood chips than that. We're probably getting about 400 yards. So I'll make them put this quote into that 400. So we'll actually get them even cheaper than what they gave us there. And the other thing is I don't have to get wood chips from them. So I can contact all these other vendors again and see what they'll give me for a price code. And I can get them from a different company due to the fact that this is an optional bid, option alternative.
Okay. Motion to approve exhibit A, with further discussion on wood chips and Docker. I did notice the bench is only $770, so.
Yeah, we could look at other benches or look at getting benches added to that as well. And on the other side, kind of back a little bit further.
Or like that, people.
Picnic tables.
When you mentioned climbing on top of that, I was like, yeah. Again, all those in favor of approving the motion to make a recommendation to the board will be for option A, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same opposed. Okay, awesome.
Great.
I'm just picturing myself on the rabbit.
Nice.
Well, if we end up going with that, I am. Let's move to option 3 then, which is discussion of possible action regarding the proposal for repaving of pickleball courts and basketball courts.
All right, so as I was diving into this, obviously part of our proposal, I kind of tried to break things out in regards to asphalt, concrete, and fencing, along with standards, and then also paint. Since I've done that, I've come up with a good proposal that was sent out for the asphalt portion of this. We received one quote back, and I think it's because it's such a small project. If I would have done this all over again, I would have worked closer with Jerry, as I had found that he was getting quotes for blacktop and asphalt for streets, and I would have been like, oh, we could have just added this right to the project, but we weren't able to do so, as that was bid out a couple weeks before us. So since then, we did get one quote or one proposal from Bartelt Enterprises at a price of 48. Well, it is, that's more or less what I think brought it to. I think it's $46,950.36 was their actual quote for what we had requested. They've thrown in $6,431.66 to redo the area. That's the entrance area. So if you were to come down the steps at Bear Park, they're gonna have to drive over that to get the asphalt inside. To do so, they are going to break all that up. So I'm counting that kind of alternative proposal they gave us there for $6,400 in the price. I also talked with them, and he told me it'd be about $5,000 less if we went with 3 inches of asphalt rather than 3.5 inches. And so I said, like, well, what type of warranty? Is there anything that's different within that? He said, no, like, you're not driving heavy trucks on it. You know, this is mainly for use of sport courts. We've done a lot of these at 3 inches. You know, he's comfortable with that. So that would decrease the price by $5,000, which would help them within this overall project cost. Since I'm kind of generaling this on my own, we'll just approve the asphalt portion of this. Once that gets in place, we'll then move on to the fencing portion of this. So it's going to be kind of one by one when we can get people in there to give us some good quotes. I talked with Qualline. I've talked with a number of fencing people. They recommended putting the asphalt in and then drilling right to the asphalt to do the fencing after it, which I figured they would want to use cement, or, you know, so that's how I've seen a lot of them done. They were all pretty much against the cement because we'll notice a heave with the freeze thaw. We'll notice that quite considerably within the blacktop area. So when it's inside blacktop, it tends to want to, you know, go up and down within that blacktop, which will then make the fence go up and down as well, which we won't like. So they recommended blacktop. I went up and looked at Middleton's courts, and I also looked at Wanakee's, and they're done that way as well. So pretty comfortable with that option. But for tonight's purposes, looking for approval or discussion at least, and possibly approval in regards to hiring Bartelt Enterprises for blacktopping the surface there.
Do you need a motion before we get in discussion, or?
We can either one. We can go ahead and go on discussion, or then just take a motion discussion.
I mean, I guess the first question I have is, we have to stay underneath 110 because that's what got approved. And if we're doing this piecemeal, do you have any concerns that we're going to be able to make that?
I mean, as you can see, I've tried to put together a projected cost estimate within this proposal. You know, I knew asphalt was going to be the
people
most.
said that price could change.
Correct.
So how long is that quote good for?
Well, it's good for as long as we approve it, I think, within this month. You know, I talked to them about that. He's like, yeah, well, the prices are changing daily for them. It's going to be based more on the amount of work that they have. And when the nice thing is, I said it's to be determined on the start date for it. And I think that gives them, that makes them happy. Yeah. So obviously, once it's approved, I'll set up that date so we have it and we can, you know, lock in for sure, because they're probably looking for that too. I feel this is right in line with what I thought it would be. You know, this is like the projected cost was based on 3 courts, but still doing this entire like this whole area. Now the courts have revamped, you know, since we redid it, and we're going more south, so we're able to get 4 courts in. That's great. But I don't see the asphalt really being more, you know, like I expected it to be about half the cost, and we're under that currently. So that's good. Fencing, we can still make changes to as well. So the fencing, you know, that we have up there is 8 feet, but do we really need 8 feet, you know, along that whole backside? It might look a little goofy if it's 2 feet less, but do we really need it? If it'll bring the cost down that much, you know, it just have to be some decisions like that made to try and cut if we can. Lastly, I found a paint contractor. I've watched a million YouTube videos on how to do it. And so I'm pretty sure it'll save us roughly $10,000 to have us paint it ourselves. So we can come in, get everything, you know, it's new blacktop, so it should be pretty clear and clean, easy enough for us to paint. And I think it'll be kind of cool. So maybe we'll even do a community paint or something like that if we want to at that point. But I just think it could be an easy way to save a lot of money at the end if we need to. So, but
Yeah. Sorry, I'll tell you.
so yeah, my recommendation was to, or, you know, my recommendation would be to go with the cost at $48,382.02, letting them know like, hey, you're going to plan on doing this when you come in. And to be honest with you, I'd even ask them if I tore all the blacktop out now, well, how much would it save us? You know, like we could even save more that way because we've tore all of it out up there already. And it was a pretty easy, good process. So we had a place to dump it and everything. So.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the cost of the blacktop as proposed in the package.
Yes, there's a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Discussion.
Oh,
Just want to make sure
Any
that Jen
further- yeah.
weighs in.
We haven't heard from
I can't see
Jen.
her.
Yeah, sorry, we can't see her.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
I'm good. I'm good.
You're good.
Can I just ask one thing quick?
Yeah.
Do you have like a timeline in mind?
My-
A lot of people are asking me.
So many people. I know. I've received,
I'm like, yeah, well, where do you go?
I've honestly received at least 20 emails or calls regarding these. So my hope is to get this approved. We get the blacktop in, I can get a fence person there, you know, pretty much right away is my hope. As long as I've talked to Qualline, CenturyLink, and they all have the supplies now. So that's good. You know, that's what I was worried about. It's more about the time, right? Like when are they able to come in? But I feel like
You have a fence company and stuff on the side. The windscreen stuff.
well, that I'll order online. Yep. So, but the fence company, you know, Qualine's out of Wanakee, CenturyLink is out of, well, they're out of all over, but
I might
Madison.
know a vendor for windscreen.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got a company that wants me to do video for them. Maybe I can.
Oh, there you go. Barter some services, you know, you could donate all your services and I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, if you have any of them, let me know. I've sourced out a few of them. It's more about, I don't know if we'll need it along the entire outside of it, you know, like some of them have done. We'll see. I mean, it will keep the noise down for people too, but really out of the south and out of the west is really what I was thinking at the beginning. But I've gotten a hold of them for basketball standards and all those things as well. So it's just more of, I'm trying to put together a price point for all this. So if this gets approved, this is the big one, obviously. And then what do we have for fencing? Do I need to cut down on fencing or, you know, look at other options? So it's just a lot harder than being able to just be like, hey, here's $110,000, go general this since you do it all the time, you know, and staff's doing it, but it'll save us a lot of money doing it this way. So that's the hope. I mean, I hope it saves us, I should say, but we should be good.
Any other questions or comments for discussion out there in the world? Okay. If you'd like to approve the motion to go with the parks recommendation for Bartlett Enterprise Research pickleball and basketball courts, you can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And
Aye.
any opposed?
Thank you.
Thanks for doing all that, Mike.
Yeah.
Director, intern, administrator.
Not anymore.
Contractor.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Master of none. Just remember that. Jack of all, master of none.
Okay, let's move into number 4, discussion of possible action regarding the facility use agreement between the village of Cross Plains and Cross Plains Stimulated.
All right, so within your packet was just an updated facility use agreement. Heidi Casey's on tonight. She's the new swim team president for this year. If you have any, I just asked her to be on if you had any questions from her. They asked for a few changes within the agreement from last year. It looks like, you know, and everything's kind of in red that has been changed or discussed for changes. As of right now, the preseason practices will no longer need, it appears, from 8 to 9:30 p.m. They are asking to extend their practice from 6 a.m. to 9:50 from 9:45. that we had before. Now, we can talk about that if you guys are okay with it. The thing that the 9:45 time for us is based on some lessons starting at 10. So everyone's out of the pool area and staff can get everything set up and start at 10. I feel like the 5 minutes shouldn't hurt us all too much. So if they would like, if that's something that they really want, I don't see too many issues with that kind of moving forward. But they took away the stroke clinic that they had in there from 5 to 5:45, and also the regular season practice, the Sundays from 9:30 to 11 a.m. So those times would be open for other users now, or classes if we need it. And then I just added some other things like anytime. So they are to supply their own lifeguards when they're in the pool area, or especially when they're having a swim meet. There has to be a lifeguard on an elevated guard stand. And what I had added to this was that when they're in their practices, at any time that they're using the diving well, that they were to have one of their coaches and or a lifeguard that's up on an elevated stand as well.
It's just for visual observation.
Correct, so they can see under. There's a lot of times where they'll have 30 kids in that deep well, on the diving well, and just having someone up looking down is a lot better and safer than someone just standing on the deck. So I've just made a small change there. And then they will be offering once again to have a during the week meet. That'll be on Tuesday, July 26th. Last year was just on Wednesday, June 30th. So just make a few changes there. Heidi, is there anything that you would like to add? If so, please unmute yourself at this time.
No, I'm good. I think you and I went over it pretty well.
Okay.
And I just went through our numbers, and as of today, we have 174 kids on our team this year again. So another really good team. We've got 7 new families, so it's looking to be a really good. And I think a lot of the stuff that we did last year was because of our COVID protocols that we were trying to keep in place and keep the kids separated in using our cohorts that we had last year. So this year, with things going back to normal, we're kind of swinging back to how things were, 3 years ago. So I think, Mike, you and I have gone over it pretty good. And if there's, things, we are flexible. It's not written in stone. So whatever you guys think is best, that's fine.
So the one thing that you did request that I didn't have on here was the extended time on Tuesday. So Memorial Day, the day after Memorial Day, they start their preseason practices.
Yeah.
They go from 3 to 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
You did request 6 p.m., correct?
I did. And if it's 5:30, that's fine. We figured out that if we did have to do that, we would just have the kids do dry land.
Okay. And I guess it's up, what do you all think? So I don't really see a huge issue. We don't usually have a lot of people using the pool from Memorial Day till when the school is out, because there's a lot of times it is still pretty cold. However, I have advertised already in our activity guide that we'd be open at 6, which is where a lot of people go to look at it, when the pool opens. Now, it's also only, what is that? It's like 7 days or 8 days or something like that total.
And give them 5:45 or 5:50.
I think if we're going to split the difference and make the change, we just give them the full 6. Personally, just because really it's just the time in our activity guide that it's, that we're against.
And it's for a week, right?
Yeah, like it's roughly, it'd be
Like
7 days.
Most of the kids who use the pool, who would use it,
Our
are on
swim
the
team.
same
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. So if you're fine with it, I'd be fine with making that change as well. I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that change within our open swim then.
Yeah, I've got no opinion on it.
Okay.
Jen?
I'm good.
Thoughts on that?
The swim team, Jen,
I'm sorry, say that again.
do you have any thoughts on the
Objections or comment? No, I'm good.
Yeah. Good work. What do you think?
Would you like me to make the change to 6 then, or? Are you good with that
Yeah.
as a group?
Do you need that in a motion?
Yeah, just when you approve this agreement, just say with the requested change of 6 PM. And that way it gives them that extra time in there, but be good for getting ready for the season.
Let's go ahead and take a motion, and then if there's any further discussion, we can have that.
We can make the motion to approve the agreement with the Stingrays with the change to 6 PM
For the
for the end time for the week after Memorial.
preseason practice.
Preseason
Yep.
And then second for that, I'll second. And then we'll go ahead and open it up for any further discussion on anything within the agreement.
I guess the only thing I would ask, this is the same thing we approved last year, everything.
Yeah, nothing changed up, just the red.
This is what's always worked
Yeah.
for however many years.
And really, they've taken away more time this year than what they have in the past. We'll see. They may add that again or request it back, but yeah, I don't see any, negative change. They have a lot of I believe, Heidi, you have a lot of the same coaches coming back this year. Is that
Yes,
correct?
we do. A lot of our coaches are coming back, and we have Hannah Agater is coming back too, and she wasn't there last year, but she was the year before. So we do have returning people, so everybody knows pretty much what's going on.
Perfect. And we did
Yeah.
receive a lot of requests from some of your coaches about a lifeguard training class, and I believe we've sent out to all of them for that date.
Yeah, and everyone is going to be doing it.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, so it's
Sounds
great.
great.
So we're gonna have, we only had 3 coaches that had to go through a recertification. Otherwise, everybody else, including helper coaches, are lifeguard certified.
Perfect. And then the only thing that I'll bring up just for more discussion, because this needs to be discussed, we've had a lot of administrators talk, at least the last 2 have talked about it. I don't know if Brian would. So how it works within their staff is that we pay, so the village pays their staff for working at the pool, right? Working for the Stingrays. We do their payroll for them. And then they reimburse us 100% at the end of the year. The issue that we've been running into is a lot of our lifeguards are also their coaches, actually all of them, except 1, I think now, or 2, I guess, if Hannah's coming back. So what we're running into with problems is when they work 40 hours for swim team, they can't work any hours for us because on the books, it looks like they're working overtime, of which they're not. But since we're doing payroll, there's that struggle. So I always do it on our end. So the pool end, that none of them will get more hours than what they can exceed on the pool side, knowing that they're going to meet that 40 within the swim team side. But it is a major headache to try and keep all those lined up. Both administrators, so Caitlin and then Bill, had talked to the swim team presidents at the time more about like, hey, can you go out and get your own payroll or start doing your own payroll? That'd make this all so much cleaner. And I believe like due to financial concerns for this, because obviously it would cost them more money, they didn't do it, and we've stayed at this same process. But I think in the future, we should come up with another option, whether it be even us helping them, financially, if we need to, in regards to helping keep, or do payroll differently, whether it be collecting less money from them or something, to try and separate those duties, because it makes it tough on us. And especially as we get less and less staff, each year, to make sure that they're not reaching those 80 hours, or we need to start paying overtime, which we really shouldn't be because they're not working for us when they're there. But I just want to bring that up, obviously for you, Heidi, as well. And I know that we've had a lot of discussions over the years, with even the Stingray past presidents, kind of everyone. So it's always been on our docket for discussions, but we probably should get a game plan together for the future if we can.
Okay,
So just keep that on your radar.
will do.
Okay, thank you. But outside of that, I don't see any issues. Yeah.
Any other thoughts or questions for consideration and discussion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Did we do the final vote?
Oh, we did not?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. I'm ready. All those in favor of the motion to approve the contract with the agreement with the Stingrays, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, same for the opposed. Excellent. We are good to go there.
Thanks, Heidi.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Heidi.
Thanks.
Jeff,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jen.
Sorry I had to zoom in for some work stuff, but thank you for your flexibility.
How you can make
No
it?
problem. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
you.
bye.
What are you doing?